Hey friends, thanks for watching. I have a really exciting show for you today. I have someone that's going to speak right to you about creative real estate investing. And we have Julie Hoffman with us today. How you doing this morning, Julie?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me today, Mark. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, no problem at all. It's Mike, but that's okay.
Are you able to edit that?
That's totally okay. It's just have some fun. It's totally
Michael, I'm sorry. I had you as Mark Zuber. Mark, I had you in my calendar. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
Even on your banner behind your body there. Anyway, okay.
That's okay. So it's Mike. No big deal. So
Mike.
Again, creative real estate investing. Julie, why don't you sort of tell us what that is, kind of where you are, and then we'll sort of peel that back because I know a lot of people want to talk about it.
Sure. So I specialize in creative real estate investment strategies. When I started investing in real estate, I, as a necessity, needed to find deals where I didn't have to qualify for financing. And where I started investing, which was in Alberta, Canada, which is on kind of the western side of Canada, and we had this possibility of buying properties through what was called an assumable mortgage. So what you could do is take over somebody's mortgage, take title or deed, I think that's how you say it, down in the South, and give them maybe a down payment, maybe not, just depended on their circumstances. And we bought about 35 properties that way.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was great. This started back in 2002. The market went crazy.
Yeah.
So I'll just kind of get into my story here, if that's okay with you.
Please do, yes.
It plays into why I do creative real estate. So did really, really well. Didn't have to qualify for hardly any financing for a long, long time. Did joint ventures with deal partners. So that's where we'd buy a property with somebody else's money, give them a good return on their money or help their money grow in the real estate, and everybody wins. And so again, we did that for a long, long time, let all of our value accumulate, and then we went into something called condo conversion. So we would buy apartment buildings, stratify them, which means take a 20-unit building and make it 20 condos.
Nice.
And sell them off in pieces and make a profit. We did that really successfully for a while and made just millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then we bought 5 more kind of rough buildings with the same plan going into the fall of 2007.
Okay.
And that was a long time ago, I know, but it's still, I could tell from your reaction.
Yeah. Been there.
It's a little fresh. So that was a very interesting time. What ended up happening from there is a massive, massive business failure. So we struggled for 4 years to try to right the ship. And it just never righted. So we ended up going actually from being multimillionaires to multiple foreclosures and eventual bankruptcy. And went down swinging, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
So again, out of necessity, real estate just, it's in your blood. It's either in your blood or kind of not in your blood. And I was raised by a real estate investor. And so that was always helpful. And anyway, out of necessity to rebuild, we had to find creative ways to buy again. And actually all of the assumable mortgages went away.
Yeah.
Suddenly nobody can do them anymore. And what was interesting is that I ended up, I was telling my story a lot about, just actually the failure and the struggles, and I wanted to start helping people get into real estate investment. And I had a lot of people coming to me who were in trouble. And I had been in big trouble, right? We're talking 130 condos.
Yeah.
Underwater, negative cash flow, $70,000 a month.
Ouch.
Nuts. Craziness.
Yes.
So when my first deal that came to me after the dust kind of settled and we started to rebuild was just a gal who'd gotten in over her head. She wanted to move to Hawaii. she didn't have a lot of equity in her house, but she had a mortgage.
Yeah.
So I bought it as a rent to own. I sold it as a rent to own. I made some money. She did well. She didn't have to go through bankruptcy. She didn't have to go through foreclosure. She was able to move to Hawaii. Everything worked out.
Yeah.
So that's where I discovered, that even though it was terrible and awful and, all that, it was a gift, because now I've been able to help like dozens and dozens of people do the same thing. I now coach people on how to do it, because a lot of people want to be invested in real estate, but they don't have any money or they don't have any credit.
Yeah.
So that's what I specialize in, and it's really a lot of fun. And I'm just so lucky that it ended up all turning out this way. And so that's where Street Smart Diva comes in. So one day I'm giving a presentation to somebody and telling them about how everything blew up, and how I had become, and my husband and I, who you saw earlier, how we had become very street smart when it comes to real estate investment, because we did. I mean, we fought for 4 years to keep the business alive. We're talking creative stuff here, right? And he said, that's our brand. That's what we got to do. We got to do something with that street smart stuff. So there's really just not a deal, as long as people are able to work together. It's not a deal I can't figure out a way to make it work and avoid bankruptcy, avoid foreclosure.
Yeah. And I like how you're looking at it. That certainly, I'm sure that was no fun, sleepless nights, all of that, but it's behind you now, and you have all those tools that you can now deploy for the rest of your investing career. Right. So
I'm very lucky. I get to help a lot of people. I am so incredibly blessed. Again, I go back to out of necessity. We decided to move from Alberta over to BC, which is like moving from Oregon to Washington.
Okay.
No, it's not. Idaho to Washington.
Yeah.
And anyway, so we moved, and I knew I wanted to move, but I also knew I didn't want to rent. Not that there's anything wrong with renting. A lot of people rent. It's great. Fit for it. But I'd gone through so much instability that I knew I just couldn't risk. I have 5 kids, by the way. Couldn't risk, having my landlord sell my house, or something like that. So when we moved, we had to buy our house through rent to own.
Sure.
It's really pretty much the only way we could do that. And so, we've been doing this for rebuilt something big now again. And just last week, we were able to help a family. They went through bankruptcy, they went through foreclosure, and they moved into a rent to own that we put together.
Nice. That's got to feel good.
It feels so good. I got the nicest email from them. It made my day. And the sellers that we bought the house from, they went through this whole terrible tenant experience.
Yeah.
We just took over their house. We said, hey, we'll see you in 4 years. We're just going to send you checks every month. They said, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. They love us. They give me canned peaches. It's awesome.
There you go. So that's the beauty of where you are now. So you came out of the condo conversion pain. So was that like 2012, 13, or was it later than that?
It all wrapped up around middle of 2010.
Oh, okay.
All wrapped. It started in 2007. Yeah, so maybe it wrapped up around 2011.
Okay, so no problem. So you lick your wounds for a little while. You're still motivated by real estate. Still see really all these extra things you can do now, and so you start rebuilding the Street Smart Diva like right away, or did it take some time to sort of decompress, or what did that look like?
Yeah, well, actually, I got like a job.
Oh my gosh!
I know, but let me tell you, going from 100% hustle to just making big money every month without having to, I worked, but I had a lot of freedom. I was working in a sales position, managing salespeople. It's actually what brought me from where we lived in Alberta, which the winters are rough, real rough, to this place where I live now. It's called the Okanagan Valley. And it's like, well, you don't know this about me. Maybe you do. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado.
Ah.
So it's like Boulder.
Okay.
but with a gigantic lake in the middle of it.
Nice.
It's a nice place to be. So we got here because of my job.
Okay.
And funny thing, the job was really cushy, well-paying, but I was getting antsy, and I'm not my boss gave me a lot of freedom, but I'm unemployable.
Yeah.
Really. Probably like you.
I get that. Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm not interested, but it pays. No, I'm sorry. I'm not interested.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't even know what I got approached not long ago, about a month ago. I want to hire you. I'm like, oh, well, that's too bad.
Yeah. Sorry about that. When did I put that out there? Yeah.
It's not going to work. I felt very honored.
Yeah, of course. It's a good feeling.
What a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that you're helping all these people, and again, you're in a position where you can help both sides, right? You can help somebody out of a difficult situation, and you can help somebody sort of restarting their situation with this rent to own. So do you just help in Canada and kind of in BC, or do you spread out all of Canada? Or where's your kind of niche now?
I like to work in my backyard.
There you go. Okay.
For my deals.
Yep.
I coach people in Australia. I coach people in the States. I coach people anywhere, because you can put together a creative deal anywhere. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You're on the West Coast.
I am. California. Yep.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of creative deals?
No. Well, I do creative financing deals, where I get owner financing and things of that nature. I would call that creative.
Yeah.
I've never done a rent to own yet. Not that I wouldn't, but I have never done one yet.
That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. But that's what I do. When I buy, I do seller financing. I call it rent to own.
Yeah.
Because more people are kind of familiar with that, but basically, yeah.
That's cool. So do you have an army of team knocking on doors? You're a one-person show with mailers. How do you attract and find those motivated sellers in those difficult situations?
We work with a lot of realtors. We go to expired listings. We do outside signs. We do bandit signs. Yes. I don't love mailers.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I'm not in love with them.
Yeah.
But coffee shop tab things, flyers on cars and malls.
Okay.
I have a phenomenal team. I'm very, very, very lucky. My husband is one of them. He's a big construction guy, so he knows all of the ins and outs of property inspections and stuff. And I work with two other guys who are just superstars, who've done hundreds and hundreds of deals, most of them creative.
Very cool.
So we are like, I call us the brain trust. Nice.
So you're kind of working on what, 5 to 10 purchases a month, or what does the kind of pipeline look like for you?
It really varies. It can be 3 deals. It can be like nothing for a long time.
Yeah.
My husband and I, again, we also have 5 kids. So like, we don't want to be too busy.
Right.
It's nice to be able to go to their practices and games and activities.
Isn't that great that real estate investing gives us those options so we can go to the games and practices without fear of a job?
Totally. It's the best thing. I have the best relationship with my kids.
That's awesome. What's the age range? Sorry.
So my youngest is 10. I have a 10-year-old boy, an 11-year-old boy, a 13-year-old girl, a 16-year-old boy, and a 17-year-old girl.
Nice. That's a nice range. That'll keep you busy.
Yeah. They're great.
Very cool.
Yeah, really cool.
So when you look at your portfolio now, because it seems like you're peeling off little pieces all the time, do you also have a portfolio of stuff that you keep, kind of build that legacy well?
Yeah, and it's just like turning into legacy, because we keep it, it works, it's cash flowing, that's being paid down, the values have gone really nicely in our favor.
Yes.
Where we are, we're like the Silicon Valley of Canada. So we're doing well here. That doesn't always happen, as you know.
Yes.
But so we definitely, I'd say 40% of my portfolio is buy and hold. Still,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll always be a landlord. I think I'll always be a landlord to some capacity.
Yeah, right until the end when I go to my daughter and go, do you want these? And she's like, no. I'm like, well, okay, time to owner finance on the way out. So that'll be the exit. So I'm curious, now that you rode the wave, you saw the dark side, and for all intents and purposes, you're back. What are the real lessons learned that maybe would have avoided, or maybe could help you avoid that the dark side next time? Is it buying too many apartments at one time, or any lessons that you learned, like, oof, don't do that?
Definitely, we bought too many at once. Again, the plan was to sell them quickly because they always sold quickly.
Right. Okay.
We're talking 20-unit buildings would sell in a month, right?
Right.
But yes, bought too many at once. The fear of losing out on a deal, there's always a deal.
Yes.
There's always a deal. There's always another bus. It's never the last deal. It's never the best deal. There's always a better deal. You know, that's a shortage mentality. And if you're in real estate, it really is helpful if you believe in abundance and
totally agree.
You know, trust the universe to bring you, you know, what you need. And I have a dog. She's gonna bark if I don't let her out.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is real life. Me
real
with
life,
dog.
exactly.
There you go. Don't bark. Aha.
What kind of puppy? Sorry, we just have to ask.
Oh, she's the best dog in the whole world. She's a collie and a blue heeler and a Australian Shepherd mix.
Nice. I like dogs. Very
lovely. Her name's Sadie. She's very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. So
you were that and you don't have to take a lot of risk. Like, you're doing seller financing stuff, right? That's not risky.
No.
If you would never do this, I know. But if your circumstances changed, you needed to walk away from a deal, it's never going to hurt your credit.
Yep.
You might get sued, still not going to hurt your credit.
Yep.
You know, and there are ways absolutely to buy real estate, not take a lot of risk.
Yeah. And
do very well.
Yeah.
But it's not easy.
Oh yeah. It's simple to understand, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's quite complex, but once you know how to do it, sky's the limit.
Yeah, there's a couple of things you've said there I just want to go back to. First and foremost, you have to have the abundance mentality. I see the scarcity mentality. I had it for the first 10 years where you almost kind of repel people. And when you repel people, you repel deals, because that's where most of my deals come from, is from others. I don't do any mailers, any door knocking, really any driving for dollars unless it's by accident, and still get a couple of deals a month. Some I keep, some I sell. So that's awesome. The other one is never to get to, never fear that this will be the last deal or the best deal. I think you're absolutely right? There's always another one. Yes, it does hurt, to lose out or whatever, but trust that there's a bigger reason for that. And I say this with 15 or 16 years and having lost lots of deals. And then the last thing is, if you conservatively finance, which is what I talk about, because I've lived the dark side, right? I was investing in 03 through 08, saw the crash firsthand and the return. I preach conservative finance, right? Just because a bank will give you an 80% loan, well, maybe you should do 70%. Maybe you should do 65. It should cash flow with no problem.
Should cash flow.
Absolutely. No alligators.
No alligators. Yeah, you have a book that says that or something, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
It's the big thing. No alligators. Because you say negative cash flow and people are like, yeah, I get it. But when you say no alligators, at least they go, what? What does that mean? So
yeah.
Got to be painful. Yeah. So I'm curious now that you're back, we've got the return, the journey is continuing. You've got your lessons learned. Where do you take this thing in 3 to 5 years? Do you still do a couple of, for you and your husband, you train more people? What's the future look like for Julie?
Well, yeah, I wear a lot of hats. I'd like to grow my coaching business. I'd like it to be more, I'd like to have more online students have success from just my online content.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to step it up a little bit in that arena, but I do have a full online course. But yeah, I'd love to just hear from more people. I do have definitely some success stories, but just my content must need to get a little better so that I can have more people, being able to take advantage of this information at any time, anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I hope to grow that. And I want to just do lots of easy rent to owns like what I'm doing. And if I do 3 a month or 3 a year, I'm probably going to be okay, because we're really lucky. We have multiple streams of income coming in, all real estate investment related. We run a group called the Okanagan Real Estate Investment Group, and we founded it, and we got 50 members that join us every month.
Nice.
We're gonna expand that online so that people all over the world can access our speakers and our content, because it's really great, and there's no reason why there's no reason not to.
Yeah, you're right.
So I hope that has grown in the next 5 years. I hope that I've been able to help a lot more people in the real estate arena, not just buyers and sellers, but also deal partners, help them grow their money, with, yeah.
Yeah. Very
all
cool.
that. Most importantly, that I want to still have great relationships with my kids. And
I'm glad you added that. That's nice.
And myself, I want to like myself. And by the way, this last year we've had a great economy, but we also had a flattening of our market.
Sure.
My husband and I actually did 2 flips that we kind of got stuck with.
Okay.
We tried to sell them rent-own. It didn't go all that well. Like, we lost money. I want to add that, because sometimes you will, even when you're being as conservative as you possibly can be, sometimes a deal doesn't go well.
Yeah.
You have to just move on from it. I've seen one deal take people down forever.
Yeah. I have a saying. Because clearly you and I have experienced real estate investing, the greatness that it can provide, right? But you're basically buying time, which you can dispose of as you want. So it's awesome. Yeah. But I tell people it takes 10 years to get there. Are you willing to, it's going to test you. It's going to send you on the dark side, right? I tell the story about our first rental property didn't go well, right? We moved somebody in, did everything right, and then they got divorced, and then they destroyed my place. That would have crushed most people. But no, we took it on the chin and we moved on, and thankfully we only have 2 of those stories. But it happened on the first one. I mean, how many people would have survived that first one? Not many. So,
not a lot. Not a lot. So good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I believe real estate investing can absolutely buy decades of time. You just got to pay the price. Is it 5, 8, 10 years of pain? You'll get there. You just got to step up. So that's what I think.
It's worth it.
Absolutely.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I do. So where can people find out about your course and all this stuff, this great stuff you put out there? Let's give yourself some marketing.
Oh, thank you. You can find out a lot about me at streetsmartdiva.com.
All one word?
Yep. All one word. I'll send you the link. I don't know if you'll send this out to your
I will.
cyber world. I'll send you the link. I'd also like to offer your listeners 50% off of my online course if you'd like to take advantage of that.
Sure.
It gets 50% off. I have a online real estate. It's a Street Smart Buyer, so it's how to buy properties, low money down. It's very Canadian, but I know you can apply the Canadian stuff to the U.S. stuff, because I learned from an American. I learned from Ron LeGrand.
Yeah, I know Ron.
And I turned the Canadian stuff American stuff into Canadian stuff. And then I have a whole landlording course. So all together, it's worth about $1,000, and I'm happy to offer your people 50% off. And then
very cool. And how would they get that? Is there a code, or they just reach out to you?
I'll send you a link,
okay.
Mike. Okay, and you can send it to whoever you like, and I'll just keep track.
Okay.
And
works for me.
I also have free stuff, though. Just please enjoy my free stuff. It's I have something called the Street Smart Analyzer, the Motivated Seller Worksheet.
Nice.
Lots of content that comes out, and it's about a 12-week series.
Cool.
And just stuff that I've learned along the way. Again, absolutely free, and I hope you enjoy it and you're able to do something that people are.
That's great. And I applaud you for doing everything you've done. I'm sure those dark moments were no fun. I do like that you're looking at them as a treasure now, because it'll be tools you use forever. 5 kids. That's a lot of kids. I have 1. 5's a lot. That's impressive. Woohoo.
One's a lot.
Yeah.
1 at one point.
Yeah. Yeah. But now we have the time, and I just love the fact that you can use it for doing what we want. And some of that's helping others, and some of that's going to practices. So pretty cool. I want to thank you for your time, Julie. This has been a lot of fun.
My pleasure. And thank you again for having me. And thank you for the work that you do, because you're changing lives. I hope you know that.
I hope so. Thank you very much for that.